Hi guys, welcome back to Pores by Papa. I was requested, so I did a little poll on my Instagram and I asked you guys what would you rather see, me mixing up my paints or just doing another painting, and 67% of you said that you wanted to see me mix my paint. So that's what we're gonna do today. So I was just thinking what kind of coaster set I wanted to do next, and I have decided to do kind of purple and aqua and silver. My first color I'm gonna be mixing is This Little Piggy, and this is in color Sea Glass. Another Little Piggy, this is the pretty purple, and this one is called Nightfall. I liked this kind of light purple. It's kind of got like a silvery hue to it too. And this one is just called Lavender by Arteza. And then another Arteza tube paint, and this is just silver. So I'm gonna go ahead and start mixing my piggies first. The first one is Sea Glass. So I have a half a teaspoon measurement here. I measure out 1 teaspoon. It doesn't need to be exact. I kind of just do even a heaping half teaspoon. Ooh, look at that. We still got stuff on here. Oh. Okay. Half a teaspoon of this one. This again is Nightfall. Oopsies. What wasn't supposed to happen? Okay, half a teaspoon. Perfect. Lilac. Now, I have been finding that I need less of the Arteza pigments, so I'm gonna just kind of eyeball this one. Let's see how much. We'll do the full half teaspoon. Just not heaping. All right, here we go. Oh, that one's pretty too. I'm excited. And then I'm just gonna put a blob of silver in there. Cool. I'm using about that much, I think, for now. We'll see how that goes. I have found with Arteza tube paints, at least the metallic ones, they're pretty thick. So we'll just see what our consistency is when we start adding everything else, and then we'll go from there. So then for my pigments, I'm gonna go ahead and put a squirt of Jasanya gloss. This is the polyurethane water-based. You can get these, I think, if they're still in stock, at Fluid Art Co. Okay. Ready, here we go. Squirt, squirt, squirt. The consistency I look for when I'm mixing my pigments is not runny like water and not thick like a paste. So right in between there. Let's see, mix, mix, mix. You want to just make sure you get all of the powder wet. To me, this is looking a tiny bit thick. You can't really tell too much, but it's just really thick. So I'm adding a tiny bit more. Perfect. Yep, that's better. Okay. I don't know if this is, you can tell, but it's more runny than how it was. Hopefully you can tell. Once we get into the pouring medium and stuff, you'll be able to tell what my consistency is. Stir, 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 stir. This is the part that takes the longest, just mixing them up. And I do let my pigments sit for 24 hours. Like I said in my previous video, I was just getting so many bubbles. When I didn't do that, I would just mix up the paints and paint away. And then I was getting super frustrated. I was like, why do I have so many bubbles inside of my paintings? Well, it's because I didn't let them sit. That one was perfect consistency. Now we're gonna go to this one. This one seems maybe a little bit watery. I think I put a tiny bit too much into this one. So to counterbalance that, I'm gonna put in a tiny bit more pigment. Not too much. Let's see how much that does. This could just be a thinner pigment too. Do one more little dash. Okay. I think that maybe helped a little bit. If it's a little bit runny, we can just put more PM into it. Now I am mixing my paints today for the Shelee art technique. I'm just gonna be showing you guys what the consistency looks like and everything. The stuff I use is currently not available to buy. It's actually discontinued, so I'm just kind of lucky that I still have the HDTV Ultra Deep Base. So once this is all out, I'm gonna kind of have to go search. Actually, being that I know that this tube paint is super thick, I am gonna go ahead and give it a splash of polyurethane and just kind of see if it thins down a bit, which it did. Sorry, I'm blocking all of your view. I'm gonna try it one more time. Little tiny squirt, little. Nice. I'm kind of getting a consistency that kind of matches the pigment, but it's just paint instead. Cool. This looks good. Okay. Now I'm gonna mix this up. This is my Ultra Deep Base. If you took the Shelee art course, you know what I'm talking about. This is your PM for the Shelee art technique. So it depends on where you're from, where you're located. If you're in the Shelee art group, you know that trying to find the right consistency for this stuff is a pain in the butt. But this is my pouring medium for the Shelee art technique. And again, I will have the Shelee art website where you can take the course that I did in the description below. Okay. Whoop. Now, I'm going to take 1 tablespoon measurement. Oh, we want this out of there, don't we? Yes, we do. Gross. Okay. Now, I'm gonna plop my pouring medium right in there. I'm gonna grab another popsicle stick, swipe it off, and put it in there. Okay, 1. And I'm doing the same thing for all of them. It's all about the consistency, so if I need to add more PM or more varnish, I'm gonna be looking for that and seeing what I need to do. Most of the time, 1 tablespoon of this to 1 teaspoon of varnish works for me, which is a 3-to-1 ratio. Okie dokie. Now, I'm gonna put this to the side real quick. And we're gonna mix. I mix all of this. I don't put in the varnish yet. I make sure the goopy deep base is mixed first. This is just how I do it. I know that people mix up their PM first and then add it to their colors, like make one big batch of PM. I don't do that. I don't know why, but I found that my paints were just getting like super goopy when I did that. And no idea why. So I just found a way that works for me, and I've been doing it ever since. So PM right in there, mix. I'm loving these colors. Ooh, this purple is cool. Get all the sides, scrape hard on the bottom, on your sides. You want no pigment sitting anywhere. Okay, and then my silver. This one I'm guessing is gonna be the most goopy right now until I put in that varnish. This one, the paint to paint might be a 2-to-1 ratio. We'll have to see. Okay, I'm getting those ratios by milliliters. So I put in 1 tablespoon of the thick PM, which is 15 milliliters. And then I'm gonna go and take my 1 teaspoon, which is 5 milliliters. So that would give me a 3-to-1 ratio. And then we'll just have to see the consistency of the tube paint to see what consistency we're gonna do there. Okay, then you're gonna add in your varnish. Like I said, this polyacrylic is just the varnish that I use. It's completely up to you. You can also use this Josonia. I just found that I like polyacrylic better. I use the Josonia to wet my pigments, but I do not use Josonia to thin out my paints. Just how I do it. Okay, so 5 milliliters, 5 milliliters, 5 milliliters, and 5 milliliters. This one might need more. We're gonna test it. Now stir. I am liking this consistency. You should have a nice runny paint that comes right off your stick. I am liking this consistency. I think that overnight too, it kind of thickens up a tiny bit, which is good too. Just not thick, but not super runny either. I like this consistency a lot. Okay, next one, Nightfall. I love this purple by TLP. Like I said, I am loving TLP. Everything that Shelee comes out with, I'm just in love with. And I can't wait to buy more. Cool, that one looks good. Get the bottom, get the side, get everything. This one I feel like is a little bit too thin, honestly, but it could be because it was super thin when I made the pigments as well. So I'm gonna go ahead, we'll do, for the sake of the video, we'll do 1/2 teaspoon more of PM. Okay, mix, mix, mix. Yep, and that's all it did. Little 1/4 teaspoon does magic with this technique and consistencies. It's really tricky. I mean, it took me basically like almost a year to get what I consider my perfect consistencies. Nope, still a little runny. I'm adding another 1/2 teaspoon. I'm sorry, did I say 1/4 teaspoon on here? So I ended up adding 1 teaspoon of PM to my runny mixture. I'm just breathing in this paint right here. Jeez. And that's better. You want to try and have the same consistencies for all of your paints too. It'll just make the techniques run so much smoother. All right, so now the tube paint. So we did, like I said, the 3-to-1 ratio for the tube paint too. And I'm just gonna see if we need more varnish. Okay, this is what I'm seeing. It's really not that bad, but I don't know. Maybe that varnish really helped it not become thick. Let me see. Let me see this consistency versus this consistency. They feel fine. Wow. Okay. I'm gonna leave it be then. Sometimes the next day this can become thick, but right now what I'm seeing is this looks good. This looks good to go. I don't need to add anything else. The silver is pretty. Do I think I need to add more tube paint? Do I like the color of that? I think it's good. I think we're good. So I'm just gonna leave it be and make sure you cover your paints. You wanna have a lid that completely covers them. So I bought these at the Dollar Tree in the United States. And they're by the food section where all their supplies are. They have like measuring, these are like $1 there, so you don't need to spend that much money on things that you're gonna ruin with paint and not cook with, you know. I slammed down my paints too because of all the bubbles. We know how OCD I am about bubbles. Oh, I guess I didn't even show you really guys the colors, but light purple. Let's cover that one up again. We have this pretty rich dark purple. Ooh. And here so you can see it in here. Sea glass, which is like a teal with a silver hue, and just silver. Silver. All right, you guys, if you guys have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments below. Sorry about the first video, the comments weren't on. I'm still trying to figure out this whole YouTube thing, but you can also find me at Pores by Papa on Instagram if the comments aren't working on YouTube. If you want to get a hold of me, I will always answer your guys' questions. So thank you so much and have a good one. Bye, guys.